News Talk at 60 KPAM. It's Mark and Dave. Among the many interesting businesses in this town that are doing their best to keep Portland weird is one called the Cricket Flower Company. Now, you're probably thinking, what do you order flowers from this company? That's like 1-800-Flowers. No, this is flour as in baking flour, only they do things a little bit differently. Joining us is Charles Wilson. He's the founder and CEO of cricketflowers.com. And Charles, welcome to the Mark and Dave Show.
Thanks for having me.
All right, you explain, because I can't bring myself to explain it. You explain what it is you do.
For sure. So basically, we have a line of different products that use crickets, a premium fine milled powder, to enhance different food groups. So we have a baking flour, we have a gluten-free baking flour, but then we also have our protein line that you can use in shakes, different recipes. I mean, pretty much anything you're able to use, but that's how we're catering is more towards those fitness professionals and also people that are just trying to get a little bit more nutrition and more protein in their diet.
We're not talking about you grind up cricket phones.
Yeah, no. We're talking about real crickets. These are actually raised here in the USA, and they're actually raised for human consumption.
Wow. Now, I know in third world countries this is big news. I mean, they eat them like a side dish.
Yeah, for sure. And that's sort of where we got the idea is basically 80% of the world is currently eating insects, but we aren't doing that in America. And there's a couple different reasons, but what we're able to do is sort of bring in this global trend that's happening internationally, but target it towards American dietary tastes and needs.
Well, I'm not going to criticize this because I have an open mind. So let's talk about why crickets.
Yeah. So basically, if you were to take one of your normal like plant proteins or even a whey protein, all those things are using more resources to actually create their protein source. So whey has to be highly processed to actually get your final powder. Same thing for the plant proteins. There's a lot of resources that go in to grow those. So by using crickets, we're able to, one, decrease the amount of resources that are used to create them, and they're also more efficient at creating that same protein source.
Wow. All right. And you say you harvest the crickets, I don't want to say locally, but nationally. They're United States crickets that are raised for this purpose. Where are these cricket farms?
Yeah, so there's actually cricket farms that are all across the United States. Most of ours are actually based down in the South. Crickets take about 4 to 6 weeks, sometimes 7 weeks, to actually go from egg all the way to the adult stage, which is when they're then milled and processed into our different products.
Okay, crushed. In other words, I mean, are they? I want to understand how this works. When you say milled and processed, I mean they're just kind of dumped into a big vat and away they go. They're crushed into flour.
No, we're a little bit nicer than that. But usually, what the crickets, they normally go into stasis during the winter months. So either carbon dioxide can be used, or you can also freeze them so the temperature drops and they just humanely go to sleep, and then you drop it farther so that way, they have a quiet, peaceful death as they, get ready for the winter, but instead they're getting ready for a product.
And listen, it's probably a lot more humane than out in the wild where people will just grab them and stick them in their mouths and chew them up. But it's interesting that who thought of this? Where did you come up with a recipe for cricket flour?
Yeah, so basically this is a newer industry. It sort of popped up first around 2010, 2011, and the first market in America really saw it in like a protein bar space. So what you'd find is this protein bar that has about 40 crickets or so inside it for the protein source, somewhere between 5 to 6 grams of protein. But there's nothing that was really in the real wholesale or even consumer market to actually buy the pure cricket flour or the flavored cricket flour, because some people might be thinking, I don't know if I want the taste of cricket. Well, we actually have a Peruvian chocolate that you can use, and we know you'll love that flavor and still get the protein and nutrition. So for 1 pound of our product, instead of having 40 crickets in a protein bar, we actually give you 5,500 in a pound bag of our pure cricket flour. So
who's your target group? I imagine, I'm going to say athletes because they're into this stuff. My son is into, and so people who are into sustainability.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess our customers sort of fall into that fitness category you mentioned.
Right.
We also have sort of almost the parents and then the nutritionally minded individuals. So parents who are already, let's say, baking cookies or maybe baking bread or making a dessert for their kids, well, they can actually use our cricket flour to then actually get their kids the nutrition and protein that they want, but in something that they'll actually eat, where you might not be able to feed a 2-year-old and they might not be craving kale. They can actually get some of the same nutrients from us.
Not that I'm going to switch, but are diabetics, would they take advantage of this?
Yeah, exactly. So because, they don't want that actual glycemic rise and the
Right.
things that way, we're able to actually cut down some of the carbohydrates and things that might give them those spikes because we're giving them something that has a lot more protein. So in our actual baking flour, we have about 30 to 35% more protein on that 1/4 cup basis when they're using our product.
So where do you substitute it? Can you use it on any recipe, substitute flour with cricket flour?
Yeah, it's not exactly a 1-to-1. If you were to take a pure bag of our cricket flour, you can't just take a 1 cup and use it instead of your all-purpose flour, but you can actually cut down the amount of your normal flour. So we actually created, and it should be releasing here in the next week or two, our first cricket flour cookbook. It's actually the world's first. So we're pretty excited about that. It's called
Lord.
All Cricket, No Bowl. So, pretty good name, I think.
Oh, that is too good. All right, you sold me. You sold me. I'm gonna have to go out and get it. Where do we get it right now?
Yeah, so you can buy the actual product on our website. For the book, they'll also be on our website and also through Amazon here.
All right.
Released.
And where's the website?
The website's at www.cricketflowers.com.
Okay, easy to remember. Cricket Flowers. But remember, the flowers is like the flowers, the milled flowers, not the flowers you sift and put on the table.
Yeah, exactly.
And look at all the time. Cricketflowers.com. And Charles Wilson, I don't know how in the world you landed into this gig, founder and CEO. But good on you, as I say.
Make the world a better place.
You know what? That's what Portland's all about, my friend, and you're right in the thick of it all of a sudden. So we appreciate you being on with Mark and Dave.
I love it. Thank you very much for having me.